Hello, guys. I thought today I'd talk about my ex again. But I wanted to say how my borderline personality disorder is kind of affecting uh it's kind of upsetting me in a massive kind of way. I missed I I missed my quetiapine for the last not I took it last night, but the two nights before I didn't take it, and I um I was experiencing well, yesterday I broke the coronavirus lockdown. And to be honest, I've broken it loads of times. I don't see why I should be stuck in my house just because you know uh, a, a pandemic that's not really killing many people is anyway. Look, that's political. I don't want to talk about that. But yesterday I went to a seaside town. I went to see a cathedral first, and then the seaside town was like 20 miles away. So I thought I'd go there, and um, I even as I was driving towards the town, I was like 3, 4 miles away from it, and in the fields on either side were these horses just like running free. I'm not I'm not a fan of horses, but my ex is. It was a big thing with her and her daughters that they all three of them had a horse. Sadly, two of the horses had to be shot. They had like quite severe health issues, and my ex-wife, who was feeling quite poorly at the time, was looking at selling her horse. I don't know if she did because we split up before that happened. I didn't want her to because I thought it was something that would kind of ground her, some give her like a purpose. Anyway, look, right, BPD, borderline personality disorder, and having an ex. Now, it depends how your relationship ends, I suppose. But with me, there was so many questions. There was how deceitful was she being? How many times did she meet this guy? She said to me during our massive last argument that they'd only had sex once, but I know for a fact that she was with him for quite a few days, and it's like that uncertainty. I can't get by it. I'm like. It, I mean, it's like that whole fear of abandonment, which I didn't. I didn't. I'm going to go off on a tangent. I didn't have a bad childhood. Um, I my mum and dad split up when I was a couple of years old, and my mum remarried. Obviously, I was stayed with my mum, and so the guy she married became my stepfather. When I was young, when I was at primary school, which is like we go there from 5 to 11 if you're American. Um, I I had a pretty good solid relationship with my stepfather. He I think I mean he's a case study in himself. He seems to like, I don't mean this in a perverted way. He seems to like children when they were young because he remarried a couple of times or got in relationships after him and my mum separated and eventually divorced. But he used to like children because I suppose because they were more pliable and could be kind of uh, you know you could he could he could be a very important person to young people, but as soon as I got to teenage years, and I think it happened with his other stepkids, he kind of lost interest because at that point, well, I was becoming like a young man. I went out to work when I was 16, um, and and then my mum and stepdad split up when I was about 17, and I was kind of left in the wilderness. I was sleeping in my car and everything. The big thing about borderline personality disorder is that they say that it can sometimes be triggered by having a, a really horrible childhood, and in so much as your parents don't give you any positive reinforcement, everything is negative. Now, I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. But when I went to secondary school, I went to a public school, and for 3 years, I was pretty much mercilessly bullied by the kids there, and I think that had a massive impact on me because I can't remember when, apart from the odd tantrum, um, when before I went to secondary school, um, which is where we go from 11 to 16, sometimes to 18. I think they do stay till 18 now. But yeah, I was pretty much mercilessly bullied, and prior to that, I didn't have any fears of abandonment. I didn't have any uh, anger issues. So yeah, I would suppose that my borderline personality disorder comes out of that bullying for 3 years, and indeed, I prior to the lockdown, I'd been seeing a couple of different counsellors, not at the same time. I saw one, then another, and but bullying was the big thing that came out. I hate bullies now. If I see somebody bullying somebody, I'm more likely to step in and stop it. Um, so yeah, the bullying had a big impact on me, but it kind of does all that other kind of stuff, that hypersensitivity where you tend to I go from 0 to 60 just like that. But anyway, we're talking about me mum, not me mum, me ex-wife, and how how what she did um really affected me because it made me lose my temper. Um, but it's also I kind of need the answers. I need the answers. She never told me kind of why it was all ended in a big argument, which lasted probably half an hour. So she never actually explained. I need to know. That's the problem. I need to know what happened, why did it happen, and I need to be able to process that in order to kind of move forwards. And unfortunately, I'm never going to get the answers to half of the questions that I'm really you know uh, struggling with. There are the puerile questions like this guy was he better in bed than I was? Was he bigger than me? All of these insecurities kind of come out, and they just tumble out of you. And I kind of sit there thinking, obviously I knew my ex-wife intimately. We did intimate things together, not just sexual things, but just intimate things uh, like monkeys grooming one another, stroking one another's hair, body, whatever, all of these kind of things, and I kind of I kind of sit there and think, wow, how many times was she doing that kind of stuff for this guy? Um, it's it's one of those things where I'm never, ever, ever going to get the answers. Never. They're, it's not like I can sit down with my ex-wife and I was going to say interrogate, but interview and ask her why. Why did you do this? When did you do this? What exactly did you do? And it's like a kind of need the answers. But I'm gonna say a really bad swear word in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So if you don't like swearing, maybe you shouldn't watch any further. But warning over and done with. Um, I got a telephone call from my brother. I don't even know if I've mentioned this before in other videos. Um, and he was telling me to kind of leave her alone and stop harassing her and all this kind of thing. Otherwise, get the police involved. And I, and yeah, the harassment was sending text, either loving her or hating her, but one or the other. But I I called him a cunt. I swore quite a bit, and then because he'd rang me from my ex-wife's phone, so then I sent a few more texts with the knowledge that he still had the phone because she was apparently in hospital. And that's another kind of thing with with the way that borderline personality disorder has affected me is that once I've my over the top emotions have kicked in, and they sometimes kick in really quickly. I don't give a shit about anything else. It's like, right, I need to get my emotions out there. I need to tell people exactly what I think. I need to swear at them, be aggressive, get rid of all of that anger. And it kind of feels really, really good to get rid of it. But then afterwards, I if I actually think about it, what I did, what I said, stuff like that, not just with my former brother-in-law, but also in road rage incidents or or complaining in a shop or anything. If I actually sit down and think about it, it actually I would probably feel not not ashamed. I'd probably feel embarrassed about about what I'd said and what I'd done. So I kind of step back and disassociate myself from any of that. It's like no, I don't even want to think about it. It it's even like on like social media where I probably insult somebody or send them an insulting message or anything like that. I generally don't want to actually be reminded of it and read it. So I genuinely do not read messages that I've sent. Once I've sent them, that's it's kind of that's it. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck at the moment, stuck because um, I want to know why my ex did what she did because the explanation she gave was we were both shouting, we were both kind of I suppose angry and everything. And the the answer she gave wasn't in depth enough for me to actually kind of get the answers that I wanted. Um, and like I say, I don't think I'm ever, ever, ever going to get the answers. I'm not going to know why she did what she did, why she chose that particular person. I mean, I didn't think he was particularly attractive. He looked like a bit of a smelly bastard. He didn't come across as being particularly intelligent. Um, and I suppose it is that thing. I don't know if you've been cheated on, but you kind of sit there and think, why? What? I think in like a relationship, there needs to be some kind of staying power. There needs to be like, okay, things are not going right between us. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can resolve it. And I never got the opportunity with her. It pisses me off because basically, she was my second wife. I was her third husband. It's like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard fucking Burton. Um, but her last marriage lasted like 10 years, and apparently he was a complete arsehole. And so I just sit there and think, fuck. When I filled in the last bit of the divorce papers, because it twos of, I don't know what it's like in America, but it twos and fro's quite a lot. Before you actually get your decree nisi, and at that point you've still got the opportunity to say no, we don't want to get divorced. And then if you send the paperwork off, you get the decree absolute. And I I just think, fuck. I knew her for about 3.5 years. We were only married really for uh, a year and 3/4, let's say. And she utterly destroyed me. I I was at a really low place when I left the house after that argument, and I came back here to my mum's place, and it was one of those things where with uh, I was thinking if I had a gun, it it would be kind of like a coin toss between using the gun on somebody else or using the gun on me. Fortunately, we don't have easy access to guns in the UK, so I just had to sit on my bed and just feel that pain. Yesterday I was getting that pain quite a lot. I was getting that pain quite a lot because I went to this seaside place, and um, my ex-wife and me had always planned to go there. We never got around to doing it. Um, and so yeah, I had some real bad pangs, and it's like a feeling just here. It's it's weird. I mean, that's probably where the whole thing about breaking heart comes from, because you do actually get a feeling just here of it's it's a horrible feeling when you kind of sit there and think, I wish I was here with my ex-wife. I wish she hadn't have done what she did. I wish that we were still together. I wish that uh, things were like they used to be. So I was feeling particularly melancholy yesterday, and um, the usual distractions, work, computer games, none of that kind of helped me. So I was literally stuck in a really bad place. And um, today I feel marginally better. I'm not sitting here thinking about I've not got the pain in my chest. Um, and it is a pain when you think about what had happened, who it happened with, and all of those unanswered questions. And so I mean, now I really do have a big, massive fear of abandonment. I I suppose it's because yeah, my ex abandoned me. She did literally. This is like somebody walking out on you or asking you to leave or something like that. This was with one of my exes. We were living together in my house, and the relationship was towards the end. I think the borderline personality disorder was really fucking everything up. Um, and we had like this massive argument, and she asked me to leave. My mum lived just up the road from this house, and so she asked me to leave, and I said, "But it's my fucking house. If anybody should leave, it should be you." But I did leave. But um, with my ex-wife, she disappeared. She literally, in true terms, she literally abandoned me, just disappeared for like 2.5, 3 weeks. I had absolutely no idea where she was. She wouldn't answer texts or anything. So I was literally abandoned. And it's pretty much apparent that for those 2.5, 3 weeks, she was living with this guy. Um, and it's I really, really struggle. I really struggle. I mean, I'm still at the point. I'm still at the point where I honestly, seriously, don't know what I'd do if I went out somewhere and I saw her and him together. I honestly don't know what I'd do. Um, I, th- I mean, it's all kind of come at a really bad time. Because I can't get treatment for the borderline personality disorder at the moment because we're in lockdown, so I can't see any therapists. Um, so it's one of those things where I just think shit. I don't want to I don't want to lose my shit because I when I'm kind of normal and stable like I am at the moment, um, so I can process stuff and contemplate and cogitate on thoughts that I've got and everything. When I can sit here and think, fuck, if because I know that I just snap just like I can't click my fingers. I just snap just like that. It's like I literally go from 0 to 100 just like that. And I don't want to be in that situation because part of me fears and thank God I've got hardly anybody that actually watches these videos. But part of me fears that I would actually, if I saw this guy, that I would actually not stop until he kind of no longer existed. And it's it's not a good place to be in. It really isn't. I'm sitting here now, and I genuinely do, and I don't use this word lightly, but I genuinely do hate him. And although I probably still love my ex-wife, I hate her as well for what they both did to me. But obviously, although I've shouted at exes before, I don't lay hands on them. But I would not say, for example, kick my ex-wife to death. That wouldn't even happen. Um, aside from the fact she was uh, fitter than me, probably stronger than me, so it probably would have been a fight that I'd have lost. But the guy, I think it's one of those things, that I think most men would probably lose their shit um, with the guy that had fucked their wives, or fucked their wife. You see, I also have this thing where I used to get on quite well with my mother-in-law. I used to like my ex-wife's family. Apart from one guy, I thought he was a complete cunt. But yeah, I used to like them, you know, and I could spend time in their company. I'm not really a social person, so and they used to have these big family get-togethers where there'd be like 20 people having a meal, and it's like I hated those. They weren't very good for me for me mentally. But yeah, and it's like those unanswered questions. It's like, what the fuck has she said to them? Because they obviously will not like me now, and it's one of them things where it's like, oh well, you know, he wasn't what we thought he was, and it's like, what the fuck did you think I was? Some kind of cuckold that I'm going to be fucking happy that my wife has been fucking somebody else? I mean, I'm never gonna see those people again ever in my life. They live in the West Midlands, fucking miles away from where I live. Um, I don't, to be honest, I don't even know if my ex-wife is still in Peterborough, which is the city just a few miles away from where I'm living at the moment. Um, I don't know if she still is there. I have absolutely no idea. So for all I know, she might have moved to the West Midlands to be closer to her family, or she might have moved to Mildenhall with this prick that fucked her. I have no idea at all. And it is that thing about being not knowing. But I will be honest with you. I definitely need some kind of treatment. I need some kind of therapy to prevent me from should the worst happen and I stumbled across this guy in the street somewhere. I need to be able to not turn the other cheek, but turn in the other direction. Because, like I say, I don't think I would stop. I think I'd go to the extreme. That's not to say that I want to go and find him and murder him. Definitely not. What I'm saying is that the the borderline personality disorder with the way that my emotions just are, are very intense. If I, like I say, if I walked into him, it would be like, wow, I would I would probably really lose my shit, and I need to get all that sorted out, but I can't at the moment. I'm kind of stuck in this stasis where my my emotions are all over the place. I'm missing a woman that I don't think ever did love me. I don't think she did. I really genuinely don't think she loved me. I think what she liked was the start of a relationship, um, and then that was it. You know, it's one of those things where we kind of went from being this really good couple together, making one another laugh and everything, to the point where we hate each other. But I'm presuming she hates me. Um, to be honest, to actually cheat on somebody, there is you must in some way despise the person that you're cheating on to actually do what you're doing. You must think very little of them. Um, but look, anyway, I've been rambling on for 30 minutes. But yeah, please don't watch this and like do another armed raid and put me under arrest. I am not going to murder that guy. What I'm saying is, I'm just worried that in my mental health issues that are not being resolved at the moment, because BPD needs um, therapeutic treatment, cognitive behavioural therapy, and everything. I'm just worried that if I did see him, and it's very unlikely because unless he's moved in with my ex, he lives like a fucking 60 miles away. Um, I'm just worried that I'd probably lose my shit, and I don't want to. So that's a confession. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off now. And if you're going through what I'm going through as well, if you've been dumped by a partner, or your relationship's ended, and you're still feeling those emotional highs and lows, like, get in touch. We can talk, and we can we can probably help one another. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off now. Uh, Thank you for watching. If you actually get this far, uh, any comments? I'll always reply to comments anyway, because I like that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll speak to you guys a bit later.